Well, hello everybody. We're in Dr. Paul's kitchen. This is my beautiful wife, Shania. And today we're going to show her making the Yambanana bread. This is such a fantastic snack because it is so nutritious and it tastes really, really good. Right now what Shania's doing is she's put in some organic yams into the food processor. These yams came from Cider Hill Farm. We love you, Karen and Glenn. Thanks for those awesome yams that come from your farm. Anyway, so that's what goes in first, is the yams into the food processor. And also, you can see we have some liquefied coconut oil here that's going in.
Turn this on?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just put this in as it helps get it to break down easier. The yams, they need a little liquid, so I mix it in this way. It makes it a little bit easier. That's 3 tablespoons.
So right now what we have in the food processor is we have the steamed yams, which were actually steamed yesterday, and banana, and coconut oil, and a little maple syrup, and some of the egg. So you're going to use 5 bananas, is that right? Mm-hmm. Now you're using a little more banana than usual because we had a little more yams than usual, right? Oh, and by the way, those yams were steamed for what, about 45 minutes, something like that?
Yeah, about 40.
Yeah, till they're good and soft. And we leave the skins on. Some people, like Dr. Camilla, I think, she'll often take the skins off. But because we had extra yams, we're putting in an extra banana. Usually it's like 3 or 4 bananas, but this time we're using 5.
I also put my vanilla in here because, again, it's liquid, so it makes it
blend easier. So that was a full tablespoon of vanilla. This recipe has undergone many evolutions, if you will. For example, you're going to see in a few minutes here, we're going to add walnuts and coconut and raisins. And if you don't like any of those things, or if you want to add more things, like when I've made it, I've thrown pumpkin seeds into it, sunflower seeds. You could put grated carrot into it and kind of move it a little bit more towards like a carrot. You can add or subtract things to it as you please, what your taste is. Maybe you've got a nut allergy issue, or you want to send pieces of this to school with your kid. And you know how nuts are at school now. It's a big deal where you can't send things with nuts at some schools. So now we just recently started adding about a 1/4 cup of pure maple syrup, just to add some sweetness to it. I mean, this is going to make a big batch, so that 1/4 cup is not going to make this overly sweet by any means, but it certainly makes it a little sweeter. And now look at this. This is one of Shania's tricks. She's putting in one of the eggs that we've cracked for later, putting it in there, and just to add more fluid to the food processor to make everything blend better. So right now what we have in the food processor is we have the steamed yams, which were actually steamed yesterday, and banana, and coconut oil, and a little maple syrup, and some of the egg. As you can see, Shania loves being on camera. Now she's got the giggles. Okay, so now we have the rest of the, we cracked 9 eggs in here. The recipe calls between 8 and 10 eggs, so that's 9 eggs. Well, you know, one or two of them went into the food processor to help liquefy the yam and banana mix as it was blending up. So just kind of gently mixing the yam banana mixture with the eggs. You don't have to even beat those eggs if you don't want. You can just pour them in there, and as you stir it up, it kind of breaks them up. Yam banana mixture with the eggs. You don't have to even beat those eggs if you don't want. You can just pour them in there, and as you stir it up, it kind of breaks them up. This is a very forgiving recipe. Although if you don't put adequate cinnamon and or vanilla in it, the flavors, you know, it's fairly bland. And I'm the one who really pushed for putting raisins, coconut and walnuts in it.
And nutmeg, I put in, it's optional, but it makes it taste, you know, gives it more flavor. So I just do a pinch. This is freshly grated nutmeg. So, about a pinch. It doesn't need a lot of nutmeg because nutmeg's pretty powerful.
So next is almond flour. We use almond flour not only for this, but to make scones and waffles. And you can buy this almond flour at Trader Joe's. But you know, because the almonds are all ground up, you want to put that in the freezer when you get home. So just to keep it fresh, because you know, nuts, as nuts get ground up or chopped up, they start releasing oils, and those oils can go rancid. So almond flour definitely keeps longer and better if kept in the freezer.
And if you're making this nut-free for schools, you could use coconut flour in replacement, but you just want to probably use less because it's a little heavier. You just kind of have to work with it.
Now we're doing coconut, shredded coconut, and you always want to buy organic coconut. Unsulfured is the term you're looking for, because most coconut in the world, you know, it comes from third world countries, and what they do is they put sodium bisulfate as a preservative, and that is something we really don't want to put in our body. So when you find a health food store, health market, like a Whole Foods or your local health food store, you can buy shredded coconut that is unsulfured. It's organic. And so that's dried coconut that's been shredded. So here we got a pinch of salt.
And flax seed.
Oh yeah, and I don't know if we caught that. We put a 1/4 cup of flaxseed meal, which, you know, if you don't have some of this stuff, you don't have to put it in. Flaxseed meal being one of those items that's not crucial if it's not there. So now everything's been mixed. So Shanya's adding the chopped walnuts. It's about a cup, maybe a little bit more. And now for some organic raisins. And again, raisins are another one of those fruit that you really want to do organic. So she's putting in just about a cup. Because raisins are one of the most, you know, commercially grown raisins are one of the most sprayed food products. So you really want to go with organic. And also then they're not sulfur and so forth. Look at that. Isn't that looking awesome? So yummy.
And then this, I have leftover, I do a little extra coconut oil and I pour it in the bottom of the pan. So that when I pour my bread in, it doesn't stick. It just coats the whole bottom.
Yambanana bread is so good when it comes fresh out of the oven because it's warm and it's so yummy. But it also, you know, we freeze it after we make it. We cut it up into serving size and put it in the freezer. What it looks like before it's going to go into the oven, a 350-degree oven that's been preheating. And we cook this for about 40 minutes. Better to probably overcook this if you're going to, rather than undercook it, so it's not too soft and mushy in the center of it. There we go.